A promise made in the dark, lit by a single flame. A desperate prayer for guidance, for direction, for a sign. And in return, a vow to one day build a shrine in the name of all who are hopeless. This was the beginning, quiet and solemn. But soon, this sacred vow would become a mission. As the light from that single candle grew into a torch of promise, passed through time and generations to millions around the world. As that vision took form, it would be given a name and a purpose, and a statue would be raised as a proud symbol of that hope, one that would stand watch over desperate families, protecting and guiding them in their darkest hour. This is where the work would be done, forever changing the fates of children diagnosed with cancer and other life-threatening diseases. This is where brilliant minds would gather, perched at the leading edge of science, as they ventured into the darkness, seeking better ways to understand, treat, and defeat the diseases that took children's lives. Hundreds of supporters would grow into thousands, then millions, fueling the work required to raise survival rates and keep families whole. What was once a death sentence for children would ultimately become survivable, as word of this remarkable place spread around the globe. Momentum continued to build, and people from all walks of life would lend their support, united by the singular vision that no child should die in the dawn of life. This is St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Since 1962, when St. Jude first opened its doors, we have stayed true to the promise that no family would ever receive a bill from St. Jude, not for treatment, travel, housing, or food. And St. Jude shares its groundbreaking discoveries so that every child saved at St. Jude means that doctors and scientists can use that knowledge to save more children around the world.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. If you think about that, I mean, go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine.
Our mission continues to unite people from all walks of life in a common goal, to support the research and the patient care necessary to at last vanquish the pediatric cancers that take our children from us.
Donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. We have the resources and we have the focus. And so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
My father, Danny Thomas, once said, "Those who support the good are as those who do the good." And these very words have been embraced by millions for more than half a century. Thank you for supporting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and for carrying forward the light of that first candle. With your help, we will continue to find cures and save more children here and around the world. We won't stop until my father's dream is realized, that no child should die in the dawn of life.
During this race was the first time I got a chance to run with my dad. He'd been an avid runner, and I was late to loving running. And so the St. Jude race was the first time we ran a formal race together. And running through St. Jude campus, being cheered on by patients and their families, seeing how they engaged with the supporters. From that point, I was sold. I grew up about 30 minutes south of Memphis and realized that St. Jude was the hospital for those patients and families who were affected by pediatric cancer and blood disorders like sickle cell. And so really got a chance to see that through my patients, particularly those adult patients who are still coming back to St. Jude to have their follow-ups. I trained in both internal medicine and pediatrics. As a Black physician, it is very meaningful seeing St. Jude really shine the spotlight on their care of sickle cell and how transformative that is for minorities and marginalized communities around the world.
It shows a red line. Dark red is abnormal. So when we're looking at your Doppler, all it really tells me is a number, and that gives me an idea of how hard the blood's pushing.
The magic is that St. Jude pours so much into the families when they're going through a really devastating time.
Hello. Okay, you remember my room? Come on in.
Not only is there the provision of world-class care in the most compassionate way in which families don't receive a bill, but also the world-class research. And that research informs the care of pediatric patients all over the world. And it's so different from other places, the way in which St. Jude delivers that care. I recognize that there's probably no way you can pay it all back, but there is a way that you can pay it forward. I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, and I'm the president of my chapter. We support St. Jude, or we came together to promote sickle cell, advocating for blood donations. And we were really successful in getting the message out. We were really successful at getting new donors. The best part is there's no amount of support that's too small. And the great part about St. Jude is seeing what that support from all corners of the world adds up to. The more supporters we can have, the better St. Jude can fulfill its really, really ambitious missions. So I'm a father. We really wanted to make sure that he sees his part in what we give. We created a donor advised fund, and we've added his name. Every time we're supporting St. Jude, he can see his name as being a part of that continuation of that work that's happening now. So he can look back and say, hey, I've been supporting St. Jude since I was 8.
And I have a lot more half-marathon medals.
Two words come to mind when I think about supporting St. Jude, and it's full circle. St. Jude providing that opportunity for my dad and I to run that first race together through the campus. The research of St. Jude around pediatric cancer, sickle cell disease, having an impact on my patients now and their families. And also to the care that's being provided right now for my 5-year-old cousin, who was diagnosed with a brain tumor about 8 weeks ago. I've been supporting St. Jude all this time, and now there's a member of my family who's a beneficiary of that support. I've really thought about that full circle experience, and now what that's pushed me to do is to help bring others into my support. It doesn't matter so much what you make, but it's really important in what you give.